We're ranking the 10 greatest World Cup campaigns ever produced, not just trophy lifts, but the runs that rewired tactics, shattered records, and left entire nations in therapy. Teenage unknowns, banned strikers, teams that did not even win the thing, they all earned a spot. The criteria are dominance, innovation, and moments so absurd they still start bar fights. Starting at number 10, with a 17-year-old who announced himself to the world. In 10th place, a 17-year-old named Pelé crashed the World Cup party in Sweden and changed football's global pecking order forever. Pelé scored 6 goals, including a hat trick in the semi-final against France, making him the youngest ever to do so in a World Cup knockout. Swedish newspapers called him a miracle. Local fans just called him unstoppable. In the final, Pelé added 2 more, one a volley so audacious that defenders could only watch. But it was the teenager's blend of street ball tricks and ruthless finishing that made the world take notice. The press tried to figure out how someone barely old enough to vote could dribble past grown men like traffic cones. 17 years, 249 days old, and already rewriting the script. The era of Brazilian dominance had its origin story, and it started with a kid who made grown Swedes cry. Number 9. France, in 1998, rewrote the host nation script with a campaign that was part tactical masterclass, part social experiment. They played 7 matches, suffered 0 defeats, and conceded just 2 goals. The French backline had more locks than the Louvre, but it was the final that became instant folklore. France delivered a 3-0 demolition of Brazil, with Zinedine Zidane scoring not 1 but 2 headers before halftime. The national stadium erupted, and so did the headlines. Black Blanc Bleu, Black White Arab, celebrating a squad that looked like modern France. Didier Deschamps ran the midfield like a man who had already read the script. This was the first World Cup with 32 teams, and France made sure everyone knew who was boss. The only thing more united than their defense was the country itself, at least for one perfect summer night. 8th place. Italy's 1982 World Cup run reads like a redemption arc written by the football gods. Paolo Rossi, fresh off a 2-year ban, barely got a touch in the group stage. Then he exploded with a hat trick to sink Brazil 3-2, eliminating the tournament's Samba favorites in a match still called the Serie Miracle. Rossi finished with 6 goals, all in the knockout rounds, and he claimed the Golden Boot and the Golden Ball. Italy did not just rely on Rossi's finishing. Their zone defense, orchestrated by Enzo Berzot, frustrated legends from Zico to Rummenigge. They went unbeaten, conceded just 6 goals, and beat Argentina, Brazil, Poland, and West Germany in a row. Not bad for a team that could barely score in the group. Opportunism over possession, resilience over flair. Italy's 1982 campaign showed that sometimes the best script is the one nobody sees coming. Number 7. West Germany's 1954 campaign rewrote the script for what an underdog could achieve and how a country could start over. Facing Hungary in the final, a team unbeaten in 31 matches and already winners over the Germans by 8-3 in the group stage, Sepp Herberger's side trailed 2-0 after just 8 minutes. Cue the miracle of Bern, and then snatched a 3-2 lead with Helmut Rahn's second goal, a shot that slipped under the legendary Gyula Grosics. The secret weapon was Adidas's new screw-in studs, which gave the Germans better grip on the rain-soaked pitch, while the Hungarians slipped and slid. Newspapers called it the biggest upset in football history. For a nation still reeling from war, it was an instant morale reboot. The miracle was not just about tactics or even the final score, it was about hope and a ball that refused to obey the odds. Number 6. Spain in 2010 treated the World Cup like a giant game of keep away. They averaged 68% possession, as if the ball was allergic to the opposition. They scored just 8 times in 7 matches, each one a masterclass in patience and minimalism. That final against the Netherlands, Andres Iniesta waited until the 116th minute to finally break the deadlock, with Dutch defenders already planning their penalty routines. Spain conceded only 2 goals in the whole tournament, one of them a fluke off a defender's shin. Critics called it boring, Future managers called it a tactical revolution. Tiki-taka did not just win a trophy, it reprogrammed football's operating system. The legacy was immediate. Every youth coach in Europe suddenly owned a copy of Pep Guardiola's playbook and a stopwatch to measure passing drills. Number 5. The 1974 Netherlands didn't just play football, they invented a cheat code. Total football meant positions were suggestions, not rules. Johan Cruyff orchestrated a team where defenders turned into strikers and goalkeepers, sometimes looked like midfielders on holiday. The Dutch outscored opponents 14-1 before the final, with Cruyff himself scoring 3 goals and providing 3 assists, including the infamous Cruyff turn that left Swedish defenders spinning like weather vanes. Their pressing game forced mistakes in places opponents didn't even know existed. Every coach with a whiteboard owes them a royalty. They lost the final, but every modern tactic with a fancy name starts with orange shirts and the phrase, "Why not swap positions for fun?" Number 4, the Maracanazo still sends shivers through Brazilian football. On July 16, 1950, Uruguay did not just beat Brazil 2-1. They did it in front of nearly 200,000 fans packed into the Maracana, a crowd so large that even the official attendance is still debated. Brazil needed only a draw. Unbeaten for 2 years, they scored first and the stadium was already celebrating. Then came Obdulio Varela, Uruguay's captain, who spent several minutes arguing with the referee after Brazil's goal, simply to calm his team and silence the chaos. Schiaffino equalized, Guija stunned the world with the winning goal, and the silence in Rio was so deep that local newspapers called it a national trauma. The term Maracanazo entered the dictionary overnight. Varela's post-match comment was simple: the crowd lost, not the players. In the aftermath, Brazil changed their kit colors forever. Football's ultimate upset, and still the loudest silence in sports history. Coming to the top 3, 1986, Argentina did not just win the World Cup. They staged a one-man show with Diego Maradona as director, star, and special effects team. The quarterfinal against England produced 2 of the most famous goals in football history within 4 minutes. First, the hand of God, a punch disguised as a header that fooled everyone except apparently the planet. Then the goal of the century, when Maradona dribbled half the length of the field, beating 5 defenders and the keeper, leaving England 5 assists, and was directly involved in 10 of Argentina's 14 goals. But this was not a solo album. Carlos Bilardo's 3-5-2 formation gave Maradona a moving shield of destroyers and runners, freeing him to create chaos. Argentina stayed unbeaten, knocked out Belgium in the semi-final with another Maradona double, and edged West Germany 3-2 in a final that was more roller coaster than chess match. Press coverage at the time called Maradona a nation in boots. No other World Cup has seen one player bend the entire narrative to his will quite like this, an individual masterclass that turned a good team into immortals. Number 2. Germany's 2014 World Cup run was less a campaign than a clinical science experiment gone wild. Just ask Brazil. It's turning the Maracana into the world's quietest nightclub. That 7-1 win was not just a record, it was the largest margin ever in a World Cup semi-final with his 16th goal. So casual, he barely celebrated. Joachim Löw's squad did not just rely on a starting 11, they used every outfield player, a testament to their absurd depth. Philipp Lahm, who started the tournament in midfield, switched back to fullback mid-tournament because why not when you can do both? In the final, Mario Götze came off the bench and scored the extra time winner against Argentina, just to prove that even the substitutes had a sense of drama. Their average goal difference per game was plus 2.22, and their tactical flexibility kept opponents guessing all month. The only thing more ruthless than their pressing was their rotation policy. If you had a German passport and 2 working legs, you probably got minutes. If perfection is samba, Germany in 2014 was techno, precise, relentless, and impossible to ignore. And finally, in first place, Brazil 1970, the perfect team that didn't just win the World Cup, they practically redefined what winning looked like. 6 games, 6 wins, a plus 13 goal difference, and an average of 3.2 goals per match, numbers that read more like a cheat code than a stat sheet. Pelé, in his World Cup farewell, orchestrated attacks that moved like jazz, unpredictable, fluid, and impossible to defend. Jairzinho scored in every single match, still the only player to do so in a World Cup, while Tostão, Rivellino, and Gerson turned midfield into a playground. But the exclamation mark came in the final, 4-1 over Italy, capped by Carlos Alberto's goal, a 9-pass sequence that ended with a thunderbolt into the net. That goal is still dissected in coaching seminars and YouTube breakdowns, frame by frame. Contemporary analysts called them football art football, and even the Italians admitted they had never seen anything like it. The 1970 Brazil squad wasn't just dominant. If World Cup campaigns had a gold standard, this is the bar everyone else is still trying to reach. Across all 10 campaigns, one pattern stands out. True World Cup greatness rewrites football's DNA. Format changes, tactical revolutions, even geopolitical shocks. These teams left fingerprints on every tournament since. In the end, the World Cup isn't just won on the pitch, it's reinvented there. Which legacy surprised you most?